From my perspective, working with sustainability, I see more of a race to the top when it comes to addressing the Sustainable Development Goals. And Goal 12, sustainable consumption and production, of course, is very applicable on your industry. How would you say Tetra Pak is addressing this goal primarily?
And we see, for example, that we go together with our liquid board suppliers today in developing new renewable and recyclable barrier materials. As I said before, we have aluminium foil in our packaging, and aluminium foil is really an outstanding barrier to protect foods. And we need to develop alternative, because the drawback with foil is that it's a fossil-based material and it's not easy to recycle when we mix it with multi-material structure, mix it with plastic. So there is a drawback, but we need to define alternatives. We need to develop alternatives that protect food as good as aluminium foil barrier does. And this is a challenge that you are not doing yourself in one company. You need to go together and develop these new barrier materials. And this is one side where I think we go together versus the Goal 12.
Francisco, from Klabin's perspective, what can you tell us about how you work with Goal 12?
Klabin joined the United Nations ambition to reduce the increasing temperature by only 1.5 degrees by 2030. We are discussing targets for the 17 goals and specifically the number 12 that relates to sustainable production and process. And this means that we are working also in our own supply chain and also with our customers in order, let's say, to set goals to, let's say, materials that has less impact when it has been produced. We are trying to introduce more renewable chemicals. We are trying to use much more fibers, nanofibers, microfibers in our products that will enhance physical properties. That means stronger paper with less fibers being in use.
Thank you, Francisco. Carina mentioned aluminum and the barrier as a bit of as a problem that you're innovating away from.
Well, this is one of the challenges that we are facing is how to create the barriers with renewable material. So we are now developing technologies, co-creating with our customer like Tetra Pak, in order to set goals and technology to use better materials on that, renewable materials. So that's the main challenge. And in our case, we are discovering that some parts of the fibers can be used to some of these barriers in a very competitive and good solution.
Very exciting to hear. So is there, Carina and Francisco, is there one single innovation that has the largest potential, and what innovation would that be to create a more sustainable packaging industry? Carina, would you like to start?
Aseptic packaging, I mean, I'm talking about Tetra Pak's. Aseptic packaging is a really great thing because you don't need preservatives. You can have in ambient shelf life. You can distribute food to all people around the globe, even if they don't have the possibility to have chilled chain. And I think that is really where I see the possibility to create a monomaterial structure, packaging material structure, where you'll use as less diversity material, but still keep the good thing about aseptic packaging, and you still keep the food packaging. So material development will still continue to be the most important innovation, I would say.
Can you give us sort of a timeline when you will be holding this in your hand saying that this is perfect?
I think what is important to mention is that we cannot wait until we have the ultimate packaging in our hands. We need to go stepwise, because what key thing for us is also that we apply what we say the agile way of working and the minimum viable product concept. And with that we mean that we will, once we have what we believe is a minimum viable product to deploy, and we will go to the market together with early adopting customers, test it and get the very valuable feedback throughout the value chain together with our customer and continue to evolve and learn. So I think that is also one key element for how we will develop our new packaging solutions, because it will not be one breakthrough. It will be many, multiple small breakthroughs along the way. But we don't have so much time, I think. So we need to really keep on investing, keep on having the right partnerships in place, working together and finding this solution. So I would say within 10 years, we must be there.
Francisco, would you like to add from your perspective?
We are now closer to a proof of concept to substitute one of the other elements that are non-renewable at the milk carton board. So we are pretty close now to have a single material that I think will come in 3-5 years from now. But I see that part of this other materials can start being substituted right now in 1 year term.
Fantastic, thank you. In the beginning of this talk, Francisco, you mentioned pressure also from the consumers on the industry, that the consumers actually ask for and look for more sustainably produced packaging. How important would you say educating the consumers is in terms of what packages to choose?
I think we will need to educate once we are releasing new sustainable materials, like replacing the aluminium foil with a renewable source, a better alternative. We cannot take for granted that consumers understand what is the difference. The carton looks very the same. I mean, we haven't been able to see. So I think it's important that we are doing the campaigns so that the consumers are understanding what does a good packaging look like. And also educating on how they should recycle this package.
In order to get the job done, we need the right competence and the right skills, right? So let's talk a bit about this from your perspective. Carina, would you say that the industry has the right competence and the right skills to get the job done?
I think we have a part of the skills and the competence needed to get the job done. By working in partnership, we increase the capabilities of reaching the success. But I think it's essential to continue to work close to universities in terms of new material development, finding new sustainable materials, but also technologies that could allow to make smarter packaging solutions. So I think there is a very important part that we really should attract students and universities to drive into these areas, and that the industry should recruit these capabilities coming directly from the universities.
Francisco, what is your take on competence and skills?
I think maybe a single company cannot have all the resources needed and all the competences, and then that's where collaboration, this co-creation issues comes in a very high potential. Making the team work and the team have access to a network of support will really speed up the solutions for these new innovations, new materials that will come.
If you were to sum up how far the paperboard industry has come in the past 5 years, what would you say, Carina?
I think we have come quite far. We have quite long way still to go, however, but I think we have come quite far. And just having this mindset and that we put innovation for sustainability highest up on our agendas, that's something that has moved very fast. The amount of money that the industry is investing into this, also how industries and universities and research companies are working together to find a solution. I think that is a great part of the latest years we have seen.
Francisco?
Well, we see that the industry had heard the voices of the society, the voice of the customers and users to adjust our process and to adjust our developments towards a more sustainable, innovative future. So we put a lot of efforts in developing the fiber-based materials, improving, let's say, the quality of the existing boards and papers that we are producing, integrating it much more into our chain, let's say, using much more the resources that the forest is producing, increasing also the potential of the productivity of the planted forest, the cultivated forest, that our industry is using today.
And 5 years from now, what package will you be taking out of the refrigerator? What would that be made from?
It will be made from fiber, packaging that where we have a maximized fiber content, and where we can easily recycle it and recover. Some of the fibers going back, some of the fiber goes into other products in a full circular economy, and where we see net zero carbon emission. That is what we will see in the future. I'm definitely sure of that.
Wonderful to hear, and very inspiring to talk to both of you about the future, about innovation and collaboration in your industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.